Hello everyone and welcome inside Rose Hill Gym. November 6th is right around the corner, and around these parts, that means one thing: college basketball season. This afternoon, we bring you coverage of the final dress rehearsal for Year 2 head coach Keith Urgo and his Fordham Rams. It's a charity exhibition between the Fordham Rams and the UMBC Retrievers. I'm Miles Grossman alongside Colin Loughran. Colin, lots to be excited about, but we're a little late joining you, so let's get into those starting lineups. Will Richardson, Jaffe Medor just got his waiver approved this most recent Friday, and the UTSA transfer is getting the start. Kyle Rose will wrap up the backcourt, and then in the front court, Joshua Rivera, the Lafayette transfer, alongside the best returning rim protector in all of the A-10, Abdou Simbila. On the other side, Regimontis Kunis, Max Lorca-Lloyd, Devin Sapp, Bryce Johnson, and Marcus Banks Jr. will be the starting lineup for the visiting Retrievers. Fordham Rams in their home whites, the visiting yellows for UMBC. Abdou in the center circle, getting ready to tip alongside number 5, Lorca-Lloyd. Excited to be here with you, Colin.
Miles, great to be with you. Praise be, college hoops is back in the Bronx.
And our referee set to toss it up. Simbila in the center circle. He'll get the tip. Rivera pulls it down, and we're underway from Rose Hill Gym. Medor hands off for Simbila, top of the key. Richardson curling around. He'll take the handoff, gets caught up, bounces left side. Medor left wing. Down low, Abdou Simbila looking to back his way down on the short corner. He'll get called for too many steps.
Early mistake from the Rams. Things like that can't happen going forward for this team. You have to minimize mistakes and play a smart brand of offensive basketball.
A little bit of full court pressure for the Fordham Rams. 20 seconds in, zeros on the scoreboard. Banks, top of the circle, swings left arc for Kunis. Going to be able to play in this first semester as a Fordham Ram. He gets it done and he gets on the board first. And we have our refs deliberating in the far side. At the moment, it is Fordham Ram basketball on the UMBC end line.
And to the point about Medor being able to play this entire year, that would have been a big loss for a Fordham team that feels like it can compete for an Atlantic 10 title and potentially a bid in the big dance. Baseline
inbound, they'll find Medor, top of the key. He'll quickly go to work and rise and finish for two. 5-0 Fordham.
There's that man again, just a nice simple move towards the paint from Medor.
And that full court pressure continues. They'll hoist the transition three, no good. Lloyd, the offensive rebound, stripped free by Kyle Rose, but last touch Fordham on the baseline, staying right here.
Lorca-Lloyd, 6'9", 230 pounds, just gets his body in there. A man amongst boys for UMBC.
So UMBC now the baseline inbound. They trail 5-0, 18-20 left in the first half. Caught in the corner is Johnson. He'll look to drive and draw the foul on the floor. Looks like it'll be the sideline out of bounds play for the visiting Retrievers. And we'll say it'll be on the end line, so the baseline inbounds now for the Retrievers in yellow. And if the name UMBC sounds familiar, it's probably because of that historic 2018 upset, 16-1 over Virginia, the only school in NCAA history to do so. Right arc, Kunis looks to drive in on Richardson, cuts back right, flips it up, drew some contact, and the Lithuanian board, New York product, will be at the free throw line, Kunis.
Now Kunis draws the foul there, but good on Richardson to stay in front of him. Kunis has a little bit of size on the T-neck product, but that was something that everyone wanted to see Richardson improve upon when this season started, really keeping in front of his man. Did a nice job there. The fouls will happen, but you like the aggression.
So about 2 minutes in, as Kunis misses his first free throw off the left side of the iron. As it stands, 5-0 Fordham Rams, 18:09 left in this first half. And the exact defensive start you want if you're Fordham. Kunis, the second free throw, no good on both. Simbila rises and pulls down the free rebound, hands off for Midor. And the Fordham Rams will get the offensive possession started. Simbila drives into the lane and loses control immediately. UMBC in transition and right into the hands of Kyle Rose. Fordham steals it right back. Midor will set up shop now, finds Rivera top of the circle. One dribble at the waist, cuts right. Now finds Midor top of the circle. He'll call out the play on the left-hand perimeter. Swings high. Rivera, 2 dribbles with the right hand. Hands off for Kyle Rose, who cuts in and loses control. A little sloppy now as Johnson will have it in transition. Banks, transition, right arc 3, nothing but net. 5-3 UMBC on the board.
Banks, a transfer from Odessa College, averaged 7.7 points per game last year. He can do that. He'll burn you from back there.
So Fordham the basketball, Midor to walk it up. Looking to dump it off for Simbila. He'll get it top of the circle. Hand off for Will Richardson. At the helm of this offense, one dribble, step back, the 3, nothing but net once again, and a pure stroke for Richardson. 8-3 Fordham, quickly the other way. UMBC wasting no time. Lorca Lloyd, top of the circle. One dribble with the left hand, he'll cross over Midor. Some pressure, and it looks like Fordham will force the turnover on the baseline.
A lot of movement for both teams here early. It looked as if the Retrievers wanted to set up some type of half-court offense, but with all the moving parts and this being really the first dress rehearsal for both sides, hard to really know your teammates, where they're going to go. A little bit of miscommunication can cause a lot of problems.
So a couple of substitutions. Zach Riley into this game. Yole Akuovo, the Bingham transfer, as well as Montes Jr., Elijah Gray, and now Antrell Charlton. The full platoon swap for the Fordham Rams as we see the second unit with Antrell Charlton running point. The JUCO kid now spent many years here on Rose Hill. Elijah Gray, top of the key as Hill will get called for too many steps. The indecision on the right arc.
Fordham has a lot of players like Elijah Gray with that type of size. Not sure how that'll play out with having those guys above the three-point line. You really want them closer to the paint towards the elbow.
So Ace Valentine, the point guard of UMBC, checks in for the very first time. 8-3 Fordham, 16:30 remaining in this first half. Looking to cut in on Riley and turning around and finishing there. Kadarius Smith's first bucket. UMBC back within 3, 8-5. Montes in transition, and he'll bury the right-hand three-point shot. 11-5 Fordham.
Welcome aboard, Angel Montes. Missed a chunk of last year, but making his presence felt early.
Banks cuts inside and draws some contact from behind on Charlton. 11-5, 6:03 remaining. Looks like this one will be the foul on the floor. Antrell Charlton's first of the game.
Charlton, such a physical defender, someone that can also distribute on offense. You like having him as a dual threat because good defense leads to good offense.
So the baseline out of bounds. They find Smith in the short corner. Yole Akuovo looking to back him down on the short corner. Flips up with the left and rattles it in there. UMBC an easy 2. Now in only a 4-point lead, 11-7.
Kadarius Smith shot over 50% from the field last year. Cannot let him have that easy of a look.
15-45. Elijah Gray, top of the circle. Hands off for Montes. Left arc. Drives baseline. Drive and kick. Top of the key. Zach Riley has it. He'll look to drive, and he'll finish with the left hand. 13-7 Fordham.
Zach Riley contorting his body just a little bit to the left to finish the look.
Ace Valentine looking to go coast to coast with the right hand, and he does. An easy transition, too. Retrievers back within 4. 13-9 Fordham Rams with the basketball. Antrell Charlton, top of the circle, finds Gray, the cutter in Riley, and Riley loses control right under the basket. Looks like Johnson in transition. Banks Jr. immediately loses it in another transition turnover. Fordham Rams basketball. Riley looking to go coast to coast, swatted off the back, and Kadarius Smith in on the block before it goes out of play. 13-9 Fordham. 15 minutes remaining in this first half, and we finally get to take a breath.
Miles, such sloppy play to start this game. 4 turnovers for the Retrievers, 5 for the Fordham Rams. That's 9 total turnovers in this game. There's still 14:59 to play in the first half. This is going to happen for a dress rehearsal. We keep coming back to it, but none of these guys really know just where they fit yet into these alignments and the guys they're playing alongside. The college season is a long grind. You're not going to know till around January, maybe February, who you're going to be as a team, really. These teams going forward need to find their identity. Today, a good first step, albeit a sloppy step.
So about 5 minutes in, we'll take a quick timeout. Fordham 13, UMBC 9. 15 minutes remaining here in the first half. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV 90.7 FM.
What's up, everyone? I'm Julia Moss, one of the hosts of WFUV's women's sports podcast, All In. Join us each week as we break down everything from the WNBA, women's collegiate sports, the NWSL, and so much more. We're also joined by recurring hosts including Maddie Bamonte, Taylor Masetta, Sam Bohr, and Annabelle Watson. All In is a production of WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Danny Scott.
I'm Tyler Hu, and we're 2 of your hosts for WFUV's College Gridiron.
We'll discuss all the best games from around the world of college football.
We'll also talk about the rankings and give our thoughts on the Heisman race.
We'll preview the best games of next week and give our score predictions.
Keenan Troy and other co-hosts will join us as well.
Tune in to College Gridiron wherever you get your podcasts.
So back underway, UMBC, the basketball. Banks Jr. looking to go to work, rises and misses. Romad Dean in for the very first time, rips down the rebound. Antrell Charlton, the basketball for Fordham. He's running point. He calls out the play, standing on the block F. 13-9, the Fordham Rams lead this one. 14.5 remaining first half. Charlton, top of the key, thought about the 3. Dumps off for Zach Riley, left side of the perimeter. Drives in the lane and gets bodied by Banks Jr. It'll be the foul on the floor.
Miles, you saw Charlton there go to the top of the key with the basketball. I know he's not a pure point guard. Led the team in assists last year. I really like to see Charlton facilitate in that fashion. Definitely the kind of guy that can score, can also provide huge assist numbers.
So Romad Dean in with Jameer Tripp. Our first look at those two.
Jameer Tripp, the Brooklyn product, super excited to see what he's going to bring to the table.
Fordham basketball, mid-door, top of the key, swings right side. Richardson curls around and pops the 2, no good off the left side. Kadarius Smith rips down the rebound. Here's Short on the right arc. One dribble right, looking to go to work on mid-door and misses high there, on Tripp. Fordham Rams the basketball. Jaffe Medor looking to go to work. Dumps off center of the key for Elijah Gray. He'll rise and he'll be called for too many steps. His second turnover early in this one.
Medor trying to find Gray in transition. Call me crazy. I would have liked to have seen Medor just take up the basketball, try and draw some contact. especially given he had a size disadvantage in that situation.
So the Fordham Rams continue with the full court pressure. A 13-9 lead early into this one, and it forces the turnover. Jameer Tripp the steal. Charlton in transition, kicks right side Richardson. Elijah Gray, top of the key, nothing but net on the three-pointer. 16-9 Fordham, under 14 to play.
Oh, he can do that. We didn't quite know that. Elijah Gray with a big three there for the Rams.
Kadarius Smith the other way for UMBC. Hands off for Valentine at the helm of this offense. Drives in and draws contact on Romad Dean. Shirley on the floor.
Romad Dean, a guy that Keith Ergo talked glowingly about at A10 Media Day, said something really switched for this kid over the summer. Loves the work he puts in. Fordham hoping he can become more of a key rotational piece. Last year, kind of in and out, never truly found his rhythm. May get more of an opportunity this campaign.
Fordham Rams an early lead here on their final exhibition. 16-9 in the first half over UMBC. UMBC, the basketball on the end line, out of bounds play. They'll flip it inside, looking for Larker Lloyd, backing his way down and flipping up with the left hand. No good. On the putback, he gets it. Second try is good for Max Lorca Lloyd. Back within 5, 16-11 Fordham Rams.
Well, as you said, second time's the charm, but good on Richardson to stay in there with a guy like Lorca Lloyd with such a big frame.
Elijah Gray at the helm of this offense. Hands off for Richardson. Left arc three. Step back. He'll pop it and well short. Airballs it there. Jameer Tripp fighting down low for the offensive rebound. He'll get it back. Hands off for Richardson. Richardson drives in. No good. Too strong in the reverse as it bounces out of play. Back to the UMBC Retrievers.
That missed three-point attempt from Richardson kind of faded a little bit backward instead of just keeping his dribble and going straight up with it. That's a skill he's going to have to work on, is really trying to hit threes while in motion.
So Devin Sapp will inbound this basketball to Marcus Banks Jr., and they'll beat the full court press. Marcus Banks Jr. ahead, left side now, in and out on the left side three-point attempt. Abdu Simbila pulls it down for Fordham. 16-11, 5-point lead with the basketball. Medor looking inside. Abdu, he's got the mismatch on the left-hand block. Kicks out Ramad Dean the three. And the three-point shot for Fordham Rams, huge here, 19-11.
Ramad Dean and Elijah Gray both hitting threes in the opening half. Big news for the Rams.
Bryce Johnson quickly the other way as it'll be the kick ball down low on Jameer Tripp. Got his foot in the way of the pass, and now Josh Rivera with his mismatched Christmas-colored shoes will check back into this game.
Gotta love a good fashion statement, Miles.
So Fordham Rams 19, UMBC Retrievers 11 here on the road. 12 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the first half. And it looks like a little bit of a warning for the Fordham managers over there about the area they can and cannot stand in on the end line. So the referees force the chairs out of the area.
Getting particular early in the year here.
Especially for an exhibition, but UMBC, the basketball on the end line. Simbila with his hands up, right down low, and almost the jam for Max Lorca Lloyd, but the foul on his attempt rising at the basket. It'll be two shots for the big man down low in Max Lorca Lloyd.
Banks with a good find there. Just saw Lorca Lloyd streaking towards the paint. Sometimes you don't got to overthink it. You just need a big guy running right, rough shot through the zone.
So Max Lorca Lloyd, the 6'9", 230-pound junior out of Brooklyn, New York, dribbles twice with his right hand, flips up on the free throw, and no good off the back of the iron. Now UMBC 0 for 3 from the line today.
And that can be an Achilles heel for any team, NBA, college level, high school level, pee-wee level, you name it. You got to hit your free throws, Miles.
They are free. Here's Lorca Lloyd looking for free throw number 2. The team already 0 for 3. And in and out on the second one, 0 for 4 from the stripe as a team. 19-11, Fordham Rams lead with the basketball. Josh Rivera swings left arc. Now Jameer Tripp, the freshman, hands off Rivera. Left hand short corner, backing his way down into the lane. No good, just a little bit short. Muscling his way, but couldn't get the shot off. Here's Banks now, the rebound for UMBC. UMBC in transition and heaves it too high there and out of play. The transition turnover, and the Fordham Rams will have the timeout here. 19-11, an 8-point lead for these Fordham Rams. Colin, exactly the start you want if you're head coach Keith Ergo.
You've got to be happy with what you've seen out of your team if you are Coach Ergo. Perhaps a little sloppy from my taste, Miles, but it's my job to nitpick at this point in time. look, you're playing a UMBC team that's got some guys. They don't quite know what they are. You don't really know what you are either if you're the Rams. But what you have to like is the effort on both ends. When you get into a run-and-gun game, you just want guys that are willing to dive for the loose ball, get in someone's grill. Will Richardson earlier, handling himself in the paint against a guy like Loughran Lloyd, who's much bigger, shows the type of grit that got the Rams to the semifinal last year of that A-10 tournament. That tells me that the culture is stable, which is primarily what I was looking for in this game.
So Fordham Rams 19, UMBC 11, and Colin, a huge stat. The Fordham Rams 5 of 7 from three-point range. We'll take a quick break now. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on 90.7 FM.
Hey everyone, I'm Loughran.
And I'm Chris Persianen.
And we're two of the hosts for WFUV's very own basketball podcast, Pick and Pod.
Tune in weekly for updates and our takes on the latest around the NBA, as well as exclusive insight from our very own Knicks and Nets beat reporters.
We'll have you covered on everything from all of the NBA's latest drama we know and love,
to debating all year long which team will get to lift that golden Larry O'Brien in June.
So don't miss a beat from the hardwood on WFUV's Pick and Pod.
Welcome back inside the comforts of Rose Hill Gym for the final dress rehearsal between UMBC and the Fordham Rams, the final exhibition match before they get their actual season underway Monday, November 6th against Wagner right here at Rose Hill Gym. Josh Rivera inbounds to Jaffe Medor, and the Fordham Rams have the basketball. 19-11 is the lead in their home whites. Jameer Tripp, the freshman, fakes the handoff on the left side perimeter, backs his way down into the lane, two spin moves and swatted away there. Loughran Lloyd in on the block. Quickly the other way, Devin Sapp in transition. Johnson fakes the three, looks down low, and Kyle Rose picks up the steal, doing what he does best. Fordham Rams in transition. Rose gets caught up as the lights dim here unintentionally. And that's a bit of an odd factor, but the Fordham Rams do have the basketball. 19-11, Medor outside on the left arc, takes the pick from Simbila. Kyle Rose now, hands off Simbila, down low, left block, flips it up with the right hand and can't finish. But Josh Rivera was certainly fouled going for the rebound. It'll stay right here with the Fordham Rams.
Josh Rivera and Devin Sapp kind of battling it out, jockeying for position on that right elbow area or that right painted area. And really, he just hit the deck. You talk about the Kyle Rose steal that made that offensive possession possible. Nothing major, just got a hand in here. It's what he does best. It's why he was all defensive in this preseason poll.
And Colin, an interesting stat for you. Fordham 1 for the last 6 field goals, but 5 of their last 6 threes. That's what has them up 19-11 here. Looks like we'll have Montes check in now. Angel Montes, the redshirt freshman, 2 appearances last year. We know about his talent, had that knee injury, and now he's back in his second year as a Fordham Ram. The Rams will inbound now. Kyle Rose looks inside, left block. Abdou Simbila turns around and just a little bit short on the finger roll.
Perhaps a little nitpicky. I'd really like a better pass into Simbila there from Rose. Kind of just chicken winged it in there.
Devin Sapp outside on the left arc. Dumps down low, Loughran Lloyd. Backing his way down on the much smaller Josh Rivera. He'll get to the lane and miss too strong. Montes the rebound for Fordham. 19-11 is the lead. 10:38 and ticking first half. Jaffe Medor stands on the left side. Dribbles twice. Cuts back in. Now right. Montes, top of the circle. He'll get the pass and he'll in and out on the top of the key three. Banks the rebound. Here's Short on the right arc in transition for UMBC. No good on the floater. In and out there. Had quite the chance. And UMBC scoreless for the last 2 minutes and 52 seconds. Fordham basketball lead at 19-11. 10-minute mark here. Josh Rivera on the A10 logo looking to body his way into the paint, and he loses control. Bryce Johnson the steal. Finds Short in transition. No good. Too strong. But it'll be Bryce Johnson fouled on the putback attempt, and it'll be 2 free throws for the Retrievers.
And the giveaway on the other end from Rivera. He's a flex player, as we mentioned. He can score. He can play critical defense. I don't want him taking that many dribbles if I'm Coach Ergo. I'd rather have him make one pivot towards the hoop, see if he can draw that contact while going up for a shot.
So Bryce Johnson will stand at the free throw line, the 6'4" guard out of Orlando, Florida. Colin, there's a number of transfers on this team, a lot of them D2 transfers. This is one of the few D1s in Chicago State.
And Johnson, a guy that can shoot the ball flat out.
As Johnson finally ends the free throw drought, and he's good on the first.
As you mentioned, a transfer from Chicago State, hit 57 threes last season, dealt with a foot injury too. If he gets a full year with a clean bill of health, who knows what he could do for these retrievers.
So it'll be Bryce Johnson getting ready to shoot the second free throw. Will Richardson off the bench for the Fordham Rams. He'll check back in. Johnson rises on the second free throw and hits. 19-13, UMBC finally able to break the scoring drought.
Dion Brown also entering the party for the retrievers, Miles. He's someone you've been watching closely.
19-13, Fordham Rams the lead and the basketball. Ramad Dean hands off for Kyle Rose. Rose cuts into the lane, just a little short on the hook shot. Ace Valentine the other way for UMBC. In transition, they'll find Bryce Johnson. Bryce Johnson dumps down low for Smith, and a nice give there for the easy two. UMBC back within 4, 19-15.
Johnson with the flashy no-look dump off. Really nice pass there.
9 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first half. Will Richardson at the top of the circle takes the Elijah Gray screen, dumps right side. Ramad Dean, no good, too strong on the three-point shot. Ace Valentine the rebound, quickly the other way. Crosses half court and kicks left side. Now it'll be Dion Brown in for the first time, and Dion Brown 7.7 points a contest last time on the board for the very first time. UMBC back within 2. Will Richardson will walk it up slowly. Thought about the three on the right arc, dumps it off for Ramad Dean at the high circle. Gets it to Elijah Gray. He'll hoist the three, and he'll redeem himself. 22-17, Fordham back up 5. 8.5 remaining. Dion Brown looking to fire back with the three of his own, and he airballs it. Kyle Rose the rebound, and he finds Montes. Montes was headed out of bounds, but he threw it off Bryce Johnson. It'll stay here with the Fordham Rams.
A high IQ play there from Montes to throw it off of Johnson. Not something you see every day at the collegiate level, but good to have that awareness and to get your team the rock.
So the sideline inbounds for the Fordham Rams, Zach Riley and Will Richardson, Jameer Tripp, Elijah Gray, and Montes, the 5 out there for Fordham. 8:24 and ticking first half. Richardson stands on the block F, crosses over, now cuts right. Some space into the mid-range area, spinning around. Gets Smith on him into the lane, and he stepped on the end line while he did that spin move. Turns it over to UMBC.
Yeah, Richardson just trying to do too much there. Much rather have him keep it simple, keep it stupid, see what you can get done.
So Marcus Banks Jr. will have the basketball. UMBC quickly the other way. Smith in transition, rising for 2. And it was Elijah Gray whistled for the 2, but he took off from about 8 feet out.
Darius Smith thought he was Superman there for a split second. He had designs on the rim. Would have been a mean flush had he been able to complete it.
So UMBC has done a fantastic job of closing the gap. Fordham 1 for 8 in their last 8 field goal attempts. 22-17 as it stands. The Fordham Rams lead. As now we'll have Kadarius Smith at the free throw line. The lefty is pure on the first free throw. 22-18. UMBC done a great job of hanging around after a really slow start.
And that comes with the type of game that this has been. Very back and forth. No one's truly found their footing. But free throws make a difference.
So Bryce Johnson too strong on the second free throw attempt. Pardon me, Kadarius Smith. Will Richardson the rebound, and the basketball in the offensive half for the Fordham Rams. A long 3 in and out just off the left side of the rim. Had a chance. And now Dion Brown the rebound, pushing quickly. Here's Smith, and Smith took a couple steps before he took a dribble and turns it right back over to Fordham.
Trying to do too much there was Kadarius Smith. The same can be said of Richardson at the other end for the Rams. That's going to happen, Miles. When you have players with such dynamic talent, dynamic builds, the inclination is always going to be to try and do all you can do. Sometimes you have to play within yourself and try and see what you can do for the team.
And the Fordham Rams got off to a 5 of 7 start from three-point range. As it stands, 6 for 11 from deep. They're 1 for their last 9 field goals, and a big part of why UMBC has been able to close the gap. 7:51 remaining in the first half. Fordham Rams 22, UMBC Retrievers 18. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV 90.7 FM.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Loughran.
And I'm Colin Loughran.
And we're two of your main hosts for WFUV Sports' NHL podcast, 5 on 3.
We'll keep you updated on the Rangers, Islanders, Devils, and of course, the Stanley Cup Final.
Home ice for all things NHL, 5 on 3.
$7:51 remaining in our first half. The final exhibition match for these Fordham Rams, their sole exhibition match before they get underway November 6th against Wagner. I'm Miles Grossman alongside Colin Loughran. Colin, Fordham got off to a great start, but been quiet offensively ever since, and UMBC has charged back.
And you mentioned the threes before we entered the break there, Miles. That was a major question mark last year, was a major question mark heading into this year, too. And they getting threes from unlikely sources. Elijah Gray, Romad Dean. If those guys can knock down perimeter Jays consistently, we're looking at a whole new ball game going forward for this club.
The Fordham Rams, the sideline inbounds. Jaffe Medor will walk it up a little slowly here. Crosses the block F and crosses left to right now. Some pressure from Marcus Banks, and he finds Jameer Tripp inside of the paint. Jameer Tripp backing his way down and rising, and definitely drawing some contact. It'll be the freshman Jameer Tripp at the free throw line.
He's a freshman, but there's an element of craftiness there that comes with just playing a whole lot of basketball at a lot of different levels. Tripp going to be interesting to see how he develops going forward.
And Jameer Tripp, a 3-star prospect, the number 241 recruit in the nation, number 8 player in the state of New York, and he's 230 pounds at his 6'6" frame, super wide for a freshman.
Not typical for a guard either, Miles.
So Jameer Tripp, the righty free throw, no good, too strong on the first.
There's benefits to having a guard of that size, especially at this level where you're either lean and mean or you're skinny and fast. Having a guy that's built like this playing the guard position could be a difference maker.
So Jaffe Medor instructed to retuck his shirt there. Reason for the pause, and Jameer Tripp will do his little free throw routine. And here's the second. And Jameer Tripp good on the second free throw, able to redeem himself a little bit. 23-18 now. 7:38 remaining in this first half. Looks like we'll have another pause. This time it's a substitution issue with the UMBC bench.
A little bit of technical difficulties over there with the equipment, too, it looks like.
And it looks like number 13 Dion Brown, is getting his left knee taped up. Must have gotten a little cut. Of course, we know about the blood rules in Division I athletics.
Got to have that taken care of, Miles. You got to have all the equipment properly.
And as this situation unfolds, is Jameer Tripp covered in the blood of Dion Brown, it looks like. So Jameer Tripp will be forced off. It'll be interesting to see if he has to change shorts here, which it looks like what they'll probably do. Or they'll try and wipe it off, not try and go for the outfit adjustment.
Not trying to play by street ball rules here today.
Fordham Rams 23, UMBC 18, as we have the blood stoppage here in our exhibition match from Rose Hill. It's been a fun one, to say the very least. Colin, I think these Fordham Rams, and particularly Jaffe Medor, really impressed early.
Jaffe Medor, someone coming in you knew was going to have to handle the bulk of the scoring for this team. 5 points for him so far, leading the team in that department. Not saying he's going to drop 20 a night, but he's going to have to be a difference maker in terms of points and scoreboard factors. So
the full court pressure continues as Jameer Tripp is whistled for the foul call there. And with UMBC in the bonus for the final 7:36. And an interesting note here regarding that bonus. Both teams began in the bonus. They want those practice shots shooting free throws, so both teams agreed prior that every foul on the floor would be free throws past a certain point. So Marcus Banks Jr. will have his opportunity at the line, the Odessa College transfer, born in Hampton, Virginia. Here's the righty free throw, and good on the first, 1-1. So Marcus Banks Jr., the Virginia-born junior guard, looking to make it a 2-2 trip. Banks with the right hand rattles it home. 23-20 now, just a one-possession game as Josh Rivera will look to inbound to Medor. Medor dribbles up, taking his time now, crosses the timeline, finds Rivera, kicks left side, Will Richardson, bounces high arc. Zach Riley. Medor now, Simbila top of the key, he'll fake the handoff and find Will Richardson stuck in the left-hand corner. Will Richardson sneaks his way out, finds Zach Riley. Riley drives into the paint, hesitation, and a nice finish there, 25-23. 20, pardon me.
It's going to be 4 points on the day now for Zach Riley.
So 25-20 as UMBC quickly the other way. Josh Rivera, the block on the interior. In transition, Rivera looked to get the lob from Richardson there as this one bounces out of play on the near side. The last touch, the Fordham Rams in a real chaotic back-and-forth sequence.
Trying to be too flashy there, looking for the alley-oop highlight reel play. Take the layup, Miles. Take the points.
So that will be the sideline inbounds for Dion Brown and his UMBC Retrievers. Brown slaps the ball, kicks high for Ace Valentine, standing on that block F. Here's Smith, top of the key with Antrell on him. Smith swings it right. Brown looking to drive in on Zach Riley. He'll go up with the left hand, too strong, and an awkward switch of the hands on the finish. Fordham the rebound.
Brown misses the shot, did a nice job of gaining the baseline on Riley, though.
25-20, Jafet Medor quickly the other way and swatted away by Kadarius Smith. 6:30 and ticking. A real transition affair as back-to-back turnovers now. Fordham snatches this one off the glass, and Jafet Medor will elect to slow things down, take a couple signals from head coach Keith Ergo.
That turnover looked more like a football play than a basketball play.
6:10 and ticking. Josh Rivera at the helm of the offense. Hands off. Left arc for Antrell Charlton. Offers up the screen. Antrell Charlton dumps it down low. A pretty pass into Rivera. Rivera backing his way down and no good. Too strong over Smith. Abdou Simbila on the second try. And that one bounced all the way to the ceiling. But he got fouled on the way up. It'll be 2 shots for Abdou Simbila.
Rivera with the initial missed layup. There has been a couple times in this game where Fordham just hasn't made the easy look. Something to clean up as we head towards the real deal Holyfield games. You have to be able to hit shots when you're that close to the basket. They were able to do it last year, helped by Ross Signovitsky, helped by Khalid Moore and Darius Quisenberry. Someone like a Simbila and a Rivera will have to serve that type of purpose.
And Abdou Simbila, one of the better rim protectors in all of the A-10 last year, rises for the first free throw and nothing but net. And that is a very nice facet of his game if he's able to be consistent from the charity stripe.
And it was something that Coach Ergo spoke about at A-10 Media Day, was that he expects Simbila to be more of an offensive threat this season than he was last year. And that just comes with more reps, more time on the court, and understanding of yourself.
Simbila spins it into his right palm and misses off the left side of the iron. Kadarius Smith pulls down the free rebound. Outlets ahead to Dion Brown. Gets it back. Smith, top of the key. Left side short. Short surveying the D. Now kicks left side for Johnson. Johnson bounces down low. Kadarius Smith. Kadarius Smith jab steps in and pops the long 2. No good. Much too much there. Josh Rivera, the easy board.
Solid contest by Simbila there as well.
Quickly the other way. Antrell Charlton, a transition 3, and he cans it there. It looks like UMBC will need the timeout. Fordham Rams 20, UMBC 20, Fordham Rams 29, UMBC 20.
Good 3 there from Antrell Charlton. Fordham getting basically everything they were looking to get out of this game, experimenting with different guys in terms of shot selection, what they're able to do defensively. The three-point shooting, as we've mentioned, has been impressive from the Rams simply because we didn't quite know what it was going to be. It wasn't a given they were going to be a good three-point shooting team. It also wasn't a given that they'd be clanking everything 10 ways to Sunday. Somewhere in the middle is where you'd like to live if you're the Rams because you know that you're going to bring defensive intensity. Combine that with some decent shooting, you're looking at a competitive squad that should be able to take on anyone within the A-10.
And Fordham, a 6-0 run in the last 2 minutes and 5 seconds. A big part of that was that Antrell Charlton transition corner three. It was a nice pass ahead from Kyle Rose, and that's exactly that Keith Ergo brand of basketball. Tough defense leading to transition buckets. So it'll be the end line inbounds for UMBC. The full court Fordham Ram pressure continues. Johnson gets fouled from Simbila, and it was a hard one, especially given the exhibition status of this game.
Simbila went in there like Lawrence Taylor for a second. Had to do a little bit of a double take myself, Miles.
So Abdou Simbila got caught a little bit slow on his rotation. Tried to make up for it. Ends up being the very aggressive foul on Bryce Johnson. So now Bryce Johnson, Chicago State transfer.
I don't know about you, Abdou Simbila, not someone I want running full force at me, Miles.
At 6'9", you sure don't. So here's Bryce Johnson on his first of the 1-and-1. Nothing but net there. Calmly hits and kind of corrects the early UMBC free throw issues.
That free throw, Bryce Johnson now with 3 points on the day. Someone the Retrievers hope can give them consistent scoring.
29-22 following the second free throw make. The Fordham Rams a 7-point lead and the basketball. 5.5 to play in this first half. Jaffe Medor will call out the offense. At the top of the key, 2 dribbles, waist high at the left hand. Gets it inside to Rivera. Rivera backing his way down on Shorter. He got the position. He looks to flip it up backwards. And a ridiculous attempt there. No good.
Too many dribbles from Rivera. I'm going to sound like a broken record. Just take the ball up.
UMBC the other way. Deion Brown at the top. Hands off for Shorter. Now gets it down low. Kicks back out for Bryce Johnson. And Jaffe Medor in on the steal. Left arc. Fordham Rams in transition. They find Rivera, who can't finish the lay. Bryce Johnson back the other way. Able to avoid the contact into the offensive half. The reverse lay. No good. Jaffe Medor the rebound. Medor will elect to finally slow things up. The Fordham Rams lead 29-22 with the basketball. 4.5 to play first half. Josh Rivera caught in the left-hand corner. Drive and kick. Finds Charlton. Charlton to Medor. Top of the circle. Drives in. Looks to scoop in with the right hand. And he beats his man in Brown. 31-22. Fordham really asserting themselves.
Elite slice and dice from Medor that time, Miles.
4:17 and ticking. UMBC basketball. Here's Lorca Lloyd at the right elbow. Hands off for Dior Brown. Gets it inside to Lorca Lloyd, and he's immediately hit from behind by Charlton. And once again, with UMBC in the bonus, they will be back to the free throw line.
Good look from Brown there, finding Lorca Lloyd. Anytime you've got a guy at the size of Lorca Lloyd, there's a good chance he's going to be able to draw some contact when his opposition can't match up from a size perspective. Charlton just trying to catch up to him that time, clipped him, and now Lorca Lloyd with 2 easy chances at the line.
So Max Lorca Lloyd at the free throw line. The big of this starting lineup is good on first free throw. And that's got to feel good. It was a slow start for UMBC, but offensively they've picked it up a little bit. Now 31-23, back within 8.
And the free throw shooting has gotten better for UMBC, now 8 of 13 on the contest. You'd like to have it a little bit more consistent, but you'll take it, given this is the start of the year.
Lorca Lloyd, the 230-pound big out of Brooklyn, good on the second free throw. Jaffe Medor to walk it up now. Crosses the half-court stripe as he gets some pressure from Marcus Banks at the top of the key. Bounces inside. Ramad Dean has the basketball, spinning on the right block, gets caught up, finds Kyle Rose, and Kyle Rose will elect to restart the possession. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Elijah Gray, top of the circle, looks to back his way down, finds Ramad Dean. Ramad Dean, a strong drive right, and swatted down by Lorca Lloyd. A loose ball. Jaffe Medor comes away with it, and it'll end in the shot clock violation. 31-24, and a really chaotic stretch.
And Jaffe Medor put up a half-big shot from Sheepshead Bay over here. Almost made it look close there. Didn't come close to the hoop necessarily, but for a split second, I was like, ooh, might
so a
go
little
in.
bit of choppiness, to say the very least. 3.5 remaining here in our first half. Fordham Rams 31, UMBC Retrievers 24. That will take us to our immediate timeout. Back in 60 seconds, you're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports 90.7 FM.
Hey guys, it's Nick Palmer, your New York Islanders beat reporter for the 2023-2024 NHL season. Tune into my Twitter at NickPalmer55 for live game updates in addition to pre- and post-game analysis. To get updates on all things Isles, follow me as the Blue and Orange try to bring another Stanley Cup championship to Long Island.
What's going on, guys? I'm Jack Warner, one of your New York Rangers beat reporters for the 2023-2024 NHL season. I'll have you covered all season long as New York looks to bring a Stanley Cup back to the Big Apple in Peter Laviolette's first season as head coach. Follow me on Twitter at Jack_Warner23 for live game updates, post-game media availability, and all things Blue Shirts.
(31-24), the Fordham Rams, a 7-point lead here. 3:36 remaining in the first half. Miles Grossman alongside Colin Loughran. Colin taking a look at that Fordham box score. Jaffe Medor, 3 of 4 from the field, 7 points, really the standout. UMBC, the basketball on the block F. It's Banks crossing over on Kyle Rose, pulling up from 15 and canning it. 31-26, UMBC shrinks that lead to 5. Jaffe Medor will cross over now on that block F logo. Finds Ramad Dean, left elbow. Hands off for Will Richardson. Now down low. Elijah Gray backing his way down, and too much of lowering the shoulder there. It'll be the offensive foul down low.
And just a smart play there from Devin Sapp to understand the situation, understand you've got a bigger guy trying to work his way towards the basket. Good placement of his body to take that hard foul.
So Devin Sapp will be the inbound man, and you can really see this Fordham Ram full court pressure is going to be part of their identity.
As it was last year, and I think that going forward, that's something they're going to have to really crack down on, even if they want to work new additions in from an offensive perspective as well.
And on the near side, looked like Sapp caught in the trap, and he loses control, but Kyle Rose immediately turns it back over, and Will Richardson says, calm down. Once we get that turnover, don't commit one yourself.
Working out the kinks of a new team will always have its moments. We're seeing that play out right in front of our eyes today, Miles.
Fordham Rams 31, UMBC 26. Under 3 to play here in our first half as we're cleaning up some moisture on the near side.
Officials very particular this afternoon. Want to make sure the conditions are
stoppages.
primo. You got to like it, though. You want to see that attention to detail.
So UMBC will have the basketball when we resume. It'll be a baseline inbound under their own basket. Looks like we'll have a couple of substitutions as Dion Brown will now check on for the Lithuanian-born Kunis.
Kunis last year only averaged 5.6 minutes a game. Seems as if they're making a concerted effort to get him more involved early here.
Dion Brown able to break the full court pressure, get it ahead to Johnson, and Johnson out of control on the transition lay attempt. Will Richardson quickly the other way, 31-26, 2:45 and ticking first half. At the top of the circle, Riley will draw some contact on the floor. And Zach Riley was about 35 feet from the basket when he got fouled. That's one of those that really frustrates you if you're head coach Jim Ferry.
And that's something that Ergo and company really like about Riley. Is he the most talented player on the court? No, but he gives you some offensive movement that can create opportunities for both himself and other guys. And with that movement comes the ability to draw contact.
So UMBC in the double bonus the rest of the way. Fordham Rams not in the bonus just yet. They lead this one 31-26. 2 minutes and 44 seconds remaining. Riley flips in the inbound pass and way too aggressive there. Dion Brown comes down with it. Brown finds Johnson on the right arc. Some good pressure from Kyle Rose. Lorca Lloyd now caught at the top of the key. Kyle Rose pokes it free. A great effort. Johnson recovers. Johnson looking to go to work on the right lane. Gets caught, spins around, and hits. A tough move there. Back within 3, 31-28.
Johnson put Okuovu in the spin cycle there before hitting that shot.
2:16 remaining first half. Will Richardson out on the right arc. Bounces it high. Yole Okuovu, extra pass. Kyle Rose, no good on the three-point shot. Missed it way too strong. We'll have the whistle as UMBC was in transition. It looks like a travel there, an awkward call.
And Marcus Banks dribbling the basketball fiercely. He thought he was wide open for a corner three. That's the type of frustration that might come in your junior year, of course. After a couple years of the same program, you're looking for that opportunity. When you get new pieces like UMBC does, sometimes it's hard to all get on the same page. An example of that right there.
So Fordham scoreless the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Here with 2 to play in the first half. Medor top of the circle, takes the Yole Okuovu screen. And what's the call here? It was a foul on the screen. Was it offensive or defensive? And it sure was defensive. It'll stay right here. And I was worried that Yole Okuovu's first impact play was going to be a turnover. Not the case.
Fighting his way to try and create that screen. Although UMBC does take the foul there, you appreciate the tenacity to try and keep him from just standing there and setting his feet.
So Montes on the sideline, out of bounds play, finds Medor. 1:55 and ticking first half. Medor at the helm of this offense, takes the Yole screen, swings over to Rivera, top of the circle, looks for the cutter, and Montes can't find him. Okuovu, top of the key, finds Medor. Medor thought about the three on the right arc, hesitation step, dribbles in and flips it in. Jaffe Medor up to 9 points, 4 of 5 on the day. Taking it out of the basket very quickly and in transition. My goodness, UMBC heaved it down the court. An instant shot attempt, no good, but surely some contact, and it'll be 2 more free throws for the Retrievers.
Fordham with the basket on the other end, the product of Jaffe Medor. There's a maturity to Medor. He is a senior. He's been around the game for a while. You can tell he's just waiting for his spot to cut towards the basket. Didn't try and overdo it there. Made one step back, then had that first step to move back in towards the hoop. Fantastic play.
I think the first thing that comes to mind with Jaffe Medor, patience. Sapp on the first free throw, no good, off the left side of the iron. So the free throw woes still sort of continuing here. 9 of 15 on the day.
This is a
UMBC.
close contest, as it is, 33-28, but imagine if UMBC would have been able to hit all of their free throws, Miles.
The difference maker, so true, Colin. So here's Devin Sapp, the 6'4" guard, looking to wrap up the pair. He does by hitting the second free throw. 33-29, the Fordham Rams lead. 90 seconds to play, first half. Jaffe Medor whistles out the play, calls off the Yole Okuovu screen. Now he calls for it again, gets it, right arc, perimeter three. Jaffe Medor rises, no good, off the back iron. Here's Marcus Banks Jr. quickly in transition, a strong take, and it's swatted out of play by a slew of Rams down low. It'll stay right here with UMBC.
Banks, good movement on that far side of the court, just cutting his way down towards the paint. You take that look 10 ways to Sunday because you're either going to have an easy layup or you'll draw contact or head to the line, or is what's going to happen right here, you get the ball right under the basket after some Fordham contact, forced it out of bounds.
So UMBC, the baseline out of bounds play. Dior Brown will be the trigger man. Elijah Gray face guarding. Bounces it into Lorca Lloyd. Dior Brown gets it back and rises, and no good. Off the right side of the iron, Will Richardson pulls it down, kicks right side. Medor finds Rivera, gets it to Gray at the top of the circle, fakes the three, finds Montes. Left side of the perimeter, he'll take the three now, and Montes buries it. Oh my goodness, 36-29, under a minute first half.
Montes, Gray, and Dean all with threes in this game now.
Brown spins around in transition, no good. Elijah Gray the tip, Medor comes down with it. Fordham in transition, behind the back, through the legs, kicks out Will Richardson, the right arc, three! Pure there, nothing but twine music. 39-29, the Fordham Rams are rolling. The shot clock is off, 24 seconds left in the first half. It'll be the foul on the floor. Banks looking to drive baseline. Foul on the floor. It'll be 2 more free throws for UMBC.
Fordham now with a 10-point lead in this one, just withering away at UMBC to end this first half. there's a point when the talent begins to show for a club. We might be seeing that now with the Rams and the different things they can do with the basketball.
So once again, we'll have this stoppage for 2 free throws. This time around will be Marcus Banks Jr., the 6'3" guard out of Hampton, Virginia, one of a number of Division II transfers, this one out of Odessa College. So Banks, the righty free throw, pure on the first. 39-30, back to a single-digit lead. So the Fordham Rams will have the opportunity to hold for the final shot following this free throw if they want it, as Banks takes the second and rattles it in. 39-31, the Fordham Rams, the 8-point lead and the basketball. Medor crosses the half-court stripe and immediately whistles for the timeout. They'll head to the huddle. We'll take a quick break with them. 18.2 remaining in this first half. Fordham Rams 39, UMBC Retrievers 31. You're listening to Fordham Men's Basketball on WFUV Sports 90.7 FM.
Hey everybody, I'm Lou Orlando.
And I'm Brian Raybacks. We're your 2 broadcasters for the 2023 Fordham football season.
Follow along as CJ Montez, MJ Wright, and James Conway look to lead Joe Conlon's Rams to a Patriot League title.
You can listen to us all season long on 90.7 FM and WFUVSports.org.
WFUV Sports, the flagship station for Fordham football.
Back underway here from Rose Hill Gym. The Fordham Rams have the basketball. 14 seconds and ticking. Elijah Gray, top of the circle. Surveying the D, looking to hold for the final shot. Elijah Gray, hesitation set, gets caught up. 4 seconds. Jaffe Medor gets the basketball. Right arc three, he'll pop, and he's no good. Off the right side of the iron, and that's the way the first half comes to an end. The Fordham Rams 39, UMBC 31. And Colin, I think the biggest theme that stands out about the first 20 minutes of this exhibition, Jaffe Medor, 9 points on 4 of 6 from the field. He's a player that the Fordham Rams weren't even sure was going to be able to play in this first semester, this first academic semester. He's playing, and he's making an instant impact.
And to the point of Medor, you also like to see the 5 rebounds. When you bring him into Fordham, you're hoping he's someone that can impact your team on both ends of the court. He's been able to do that today through not only his offensive play, but his willingness to stay sturdy on the defensive end.
So the halftime score, Fordham 39, UMBC 31 for our halftime show here at WFUV Sports. We're going to turn to an interview with Antrell Charlton, the JUCO product senior guard, 6'5" out of Indian River State. Should be a fun interview. 39-31, the Fordham Rams lead. You're listening to Fordham Men's Basketball on WFUV Sports 90.7 FM. Antrell Charlton is a 6'5" guard out of the west side of Live Oak, Florida. He played a key role in Fordham's best season since the early 90s, and his head coach Keith Ergo calls him a Swiss Army knife. He'll join me in just a moment, but first we want to remind you that the JUCO Product Podcast is brought to you by Rivington Foods Marketplace here at 201 Rivington on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. For all your deli, smoothie, and grocery needs, head on over to Rivington Foods Marketplace on the corner of Rivington and Pitt. Once again, thank you to Rivington Foods Marketplace for the support. And now we're joined by Fordham men's basketball senior guard and Indian River State product, Antrell Charlton. Antrell, thanks for taking the time.
I appreciate you for having me.
There's a lot we could get into now that you're entering your senior year, but I want to start off taking you back to the beginning of your journey, all the way back to your high school days. If I'm not mistaken, you got some Division I attention out of high school, offers from Stetson and Binghamton, but you decide to go the prep year route after a really impressive high school career What was that decision like for you, and why did you elect to go with PHS Academy in Tampa originally?
Yes, like, well, Stetson at the time, it wasn't very good. And like everybody in Florida, that's kind of like the first offer you get. Like if you did anything halfway good, like that's the first offer you got. And I just didn't feel like those was the right fit for me at the time. I was never focused on me going, like, I had an older brother. He also went Division I. So I had kind of examples. So like, I didn't just want to pick any school. I wanted to pick the right fit. So I felt like going to prep school was my best option at that time, going post grad, because I was getting some Division I attention. So I chose prep school because I didn't want to like use that eligibility year. So I chose PHS, which is Pro Homes Sports Academy, which I knew the coach very well from travel ball. He knew my dad very well. So I just felt like he was the right fit for me coming out of high school instead of just jumping in, going to any Division I school just to say I'm a Division I athlete.
And then after your year there, you moved on to Fort Pierce, Florida, to attend Indian River State. And this is really what I want to talk to you about, because I got some experience covering junior college ball, and it's not easy. You know, you don't have a lot of support outside of basketball. You know, how did those years shape you? What did you learn from those years, and how did it change your attitude, you know, coming into that Division I life?
JUCO changed me a lot. To be honest, I believe JUCO made me the player I am, even a person. Like JUCO, like you say you come from a junior college, so you know it's just very hard. Like it's all mental, it's all kind of on you. Like it's nobody to really push you, it's nobody to really beat. Like it's all on you. Like to make it out of JUCO, you have to be very strong minded. So like it just pushed me like to go hard. Like I can't really worry about what everybody else doing beside me. And JUCO is also very different because it's a team, but you also individual because everybody's trying to get to the next level. It's not like being at a university where like this is the end all be all. Like everybody's trying to go to the next level. So it's kind of a selfish way. So it's like selfish basketball, but you have to be a team also. So it's just like, I don't know, JUCO is very, very different. It's like, it's no other experience. Like I love JUCO. Like I love junior college. Like it really shaped me. Like it makes you so strong minded. Like you have to really push yourself. You have to do everything for yourself because it's like you say, it's no resources for you. You might not even have an athletic trainer. You might not have the facility. So it's oh my God. JUCO, I love JUCO though, but it was very hard, very hard.
And you touched on a really interesting theme there. You know, coming out of junior college, to get recruited by a D1, you got to be on a successful JUCO team. If you're not winning ball games, you're not getting Division I coaches' attention. But like you said, you got to put up your own numbers. What did that kind of balance teach you about, you know, I got to get out of here to myself? Obviously, you're one of the success stories. Not everyone on that squad made it to Division I. But what was that process like, balancing team and that personal goal?
To be honest, my first year coming in, I was always like you said, I had Division I offers coming out of high school. Even post grad, I had a Division I offer, but I also like the same thing. So going into JUCO, I'm already thinking I was being selfish my first year. Like going in, I'm thinking I didn't know how good JUCO was. I'm thinking it's going to be easy. I'm thinking, all right, this just a pit stop. Like I'm coming in here, I'm leaving after my first year because I was already academically eligible. So I was coming in thinking my first year, I'm just going to go and kill and leave. My first year, I didn't have really a team mindset until I got there. I was okay. I seen how good everybody was, and then like I got kind of lucky with the JUCO I went to. My coach that was there at the time, Coach Wilson, he prepped us like a Division I. Hours, film study hall, weight room. Like we really like the same things we were doing here that I seen at Fordham my first year. We was doing that at JUCO, so it kind of shaped me. But my first year, I came in selfish, so I didn't even start my first year. I wasn't even getting a lot of playing time in like the first 2 or 3 games till I adjusted. I seen, okay, what role do I have to play? I'm thinking it was all about scoring coming in, but that's when I learned I had to be a defender on the team. I had to be a team player. I had to be a playmaker. I wasn't a scorer there, so that kind of shaped me for the way my game is now, like a Swiss Army knife. That's what. So to be able to play different positions and things like that.
And, you know, one of the things about JUCO ball is just the reality of it. It's the minority of players that make it to Division I ball. It's the rarity. The vast majority, JUCO's the end of the journey. What is it about your game, your personality, that made you one of the special few that you were one of the people who made that transition?
To be honest, I think it was just because of my winning mindset. That's all I like to do. Like, I'm not really about stats and all those things. I'm all about winning. So like, I think that's what made my situation different, because I always a team first mindset. So I just care about winning. Like I don't care about scoring 30 points, getting this and that. Whatever the team needs me to do to win, that's what I like to do. So I love to win. So that kind of shaped me into like, okay, I see like at JUCO, we was a lot of selfish players. So, but I seen they like to score. A lot of people, they want to score. So I knew I had to change my game to be for our team to be successful, and also that to show my variety of my ways that I can play instead of just being a scorer every night. And maybe some games you're not scoring. Now you got to sit on the bench. If your shot's not falling, now I got to figure out a way to stay on the court when my shot's not falling. And so I think that's what made me different, like because of my winning mindset. I always came in there with a win first attitude. And then my second year when I became the leader of the team and I got a winning mindset, it made the team have a winning mindset. And we did things, we won, which to me, that's what got me here because we was winning so much. And I think we had like seven players end up going Division I from my JUCO team my second year because of our winning mindset. Like we all came in there winning. Nobody was playing selfish ball. We all were sharing the ball. We just played together as a team.
And then coming out of Indian River State, obviously when you're getting, you're successful, so you're getting some Division I attention, that's a whole new era of recruitment. So you're getting a lot of D1 attention. What stood out about Fordham as this is going to be the Division I choice for me?
To be honest, Ergo, he coached my brother at Penn State, so we already had a relationship. I already knew who Ergo was. And to be honest, I had other Division I schools. I had a ton of Division I schools come out of JUCO, but what made Fordham different was like the first thing, well, it really was Ergo. And then when I got to meet Nep and talk to Neptune at the time, which was the coach coming in, his mindset, the things he was telling me, they was talking about Jalen Brunson. So that's just what made me come here. Like I literally committed. The Fordham offered me, the day they offered me, I literally committed probably 30 minutes later. Like truly, like they literally offered me. I had other schools at the time, but it just felt right. Like my family, like first thing, as soon as I told my mom and my dad that Ergo called, like Ergo literally, he probably, in those 30 minutes, he probably called me 10 times. Like he literally called me like 10 times, telling me like I was the piece that they needed, like I was a key piece. And they just made me feel wanted other than the other schools. Like, and they didn't lie to me. They told me exactly what they wanted me to come in and do, everything. They told me what it was going to be. They was going to be on us push me every day. And I knew that's something I needed. Because I was kind of lazy coming from JUCO. Like you get those, you could be laid back. But like they told me exactly, so it just felt right. Like it literally felt right. That's my first thing. My mom and dad told me like you could trust Ergo. My same thing with my brother. They say you could trust them. So that was my biggest thing. As long as I can trust, I'm good. So I literally, the Fordham just felt right. I'm not gonna lie. Like I committed 30 minutes later. It just felt like this is where I was supposed to be at.
And then now I want to get into that transition from JUCO to Division I. And I want to preface this with a little story. So last year I was the voice of the women's basketball team, and I got to go on the road with them. And you know what that Division I travel is like. It's chartered flights. They pay for your food. They pay for your hotel. I'm asking, was there a moment where you're like, man, I'm not in JUCO? Because look, we took a trip to Maryland and we saw that Division I, that Power 5 stadium. We get off the charter flight and I'm in shock. I'm like, I am not in junior college anymore, bro. Was there a moment where you're like, man, I'm living out that D1 fantasy that I thought about in JUCO? Were there any that it clicked moments?
Yeah, it was probably a couple moments. Really, my first time when I first got up here, like after practice, I think we had training table. That I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh my gosh, I was blown away. Like I really was. And like the other guys, some of the guys, they were kind of complaining about the food, like guys that's been there, Chuba, who was here for 30 years. they kind of complain about it. You get used to it after a while. But I was like, man, like it didn't matter. Like some of the stuff they was giving us, it was like healthy food. So everybody didn't want to eat it, but like, bro, I was blown away. I was literally taking it home, putting it in my bag. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, we never had this at junior college, like ever. And then I would say again would probably be when we went to Arkansas last year. The private flight we took there, it was like an NBA, like the plane was like an NBA plane. It was huge. It had the tables on it. You could sit down. Like that was like the moment I was like, okay, like this is different. Like, cause JUCO, you're taking buses everywhere. Like I think we took a bus all the way to Kansas, if I'm not mistaken.
Crazy. I know exactly what you mean. And now looking ahead to this year, a senior leader under Keith Ergo, what is your role turned into over the last couple of years, and what should we expect for you in 23-24?
Yes, this year, like with our team, with our makeup of our team. Well, last year I was also lead on the team. In my first year, kind of like we didn't really have a set leader, but I was kind of thrust into a leadership role just because of my IQ and things like that. And we was all kind of new, so I was just one of the first guys that grasped what was going on. So I was kind of in a leadership role, but this year is totally different. Like with me, Kyle, Rose, and even like our team is kind of younger now. We got experience, but we're kind of inexperienced. So it's like the certain things like I can't just worry about myself. Like, I have to make sure everybody else is going, everybody else is doing what they're supposed to do, not just me doing what I'm supposed to do, bringing my energy. I have to make sure everybody else got their energy up, things like that. So that's what kind of that's been like the biggest difference from my first 2 years being a leader to now being a leader. Like, I really have to push these guys to, it's not that they don't want to go hard. Like, they just don't understand it. They don't know yet. So like, you have to just show them every day, like, business. Now I got to bring it every day. And Ergo, that's something he gets on me and Kyle Rose about, and Will now. Just bringing it every day. Like, we can't have a bad day. Everybody else can have a bad day. It's not okay for us to have a bad day. And if they having a bad day, it's because of us. So everything is on us. Like, he really puts that pressure on us and push us to be a great leader.
Definitely. And, one of the things that comes along with being the radio voice of the team, I'll travel with y'all, get to know you guys, but they also made me an Atlantic 10 voter. So I have to vote for the preseason poll, things like that. You've been in camp. You've seen what Josh Rivera can do. You've seen what Will Richardson can do. You've seen what yourself can do alongside Kyle Rose, Abdu. There's a lot of guys who could potentially be in that all A10 conversation. Is there anyone that's, stood out for you? Anyone that I should keep my eye on, say, man, this guy could really be all A10?
Man, like you said, it's so much talent. Like, to me, like I said it, that's all we've been harping on in practice. Like, this is easily the most talented team we had at Fordham that I've been a part of. Easily. Like, we're literally 13 guys deep. And like you said, the guys you were naming, and there's some guys that could just have that breakout year, like Elijah Gray, Ramad Dean, like guys that didn't play as much last year. And we still, like, guys like Angel Montez, who didn't get to play last year, like guys that, man, these guys are so talented. Like, so it's like, it could really, I could name everybody. Like, I know it sounds crazy. I know they're my teammates, but I'm really like, I could name anybody like that can take that leap. Jafet, like, man, this guy is so good. Like, I didn't even know, like, this guy is really good. Like,
another JUCO guy.
Yeah, and he's from Florida. So, and I played against him in junior college. So I already had a relationship before he got here, prior to he got here. So, but even to see him from where he was at JUCO to now, like, that guy really good. Like, Will Richardson, who could take that jump, who should have been A10 Rookie of the Year, who can take that jump to be all A10, which is kind of obvious. Everybody kind of like looking at Will to be that guy. Kyle Rose, who could take that leap, me or Kyle, Eli. Like, it's just so many guys. Josh, like, even we got a freshman, Jameer Tripp. Like, if he gets the minutes, he could be somebody that can make all A10. Like, man, the talent we have is crazy. Like, you wouldn't believe it.
I'm really looking forward to it. November 6th against Wagner. I got it circled on my calendar. I know you do too. Thank you so much for your time, Antro.
I appreciate it for having me, Miles. Thank you.
Antro has always been a leader. High school 1,000-point scorer, winningest single player in school history at the Rock, a leader in JUCO. But now in his senior year at Fordham, his role more than ever is teaching a young cast of talented players around him how to conduct themselves with the kind of day-to-day professionalism it takes to win at the D1 level. As I said, the Fordham Rams get their season underway November 6th under second-year head coach and reigning A10 Coach of the Year, Keith Ergo. For more of the JUCO Product Podcast, check back here on YouTube or on my Twitter, link below. Thanks for listening, and remember to support your local community college.
Welcome back to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports. The Rams lead the UMBC Retrievers by a score of 39-31. You just heard my colleague Miles Grossman chat it up with Antrell Charlton. Here, Colin Loughran, ready for the second half call as Brown will get the inbound, crosses half court, guarded by Richardson, shifting left. Richardson guarding Brown. Brown moving back towards the center, cuts inward towards the basket, turns around, puts up a little layup, and it's good. That's 2 points for UMBC. 39-33 Ram lead now.
Yeah, UMBC on the board first here in the second half.
Jaffe Medor brings the ball up for Fordham. Moving back towards the middle of the court. Finds Richardson right side. Richardson right arc dribbling. Feeds to Medor. Medor comes over a screen set by Simbila. Down to the corner where he finds Richardson. Richardson moving towards the middle. Feeds to Rose. Rose dribbling. Finds Richardson left arc. Waits. Cuts. Mid-range. Bingo. 2 more points for Will Richardson. Fordham leads 41-33. Dion Brown bringing it up for UMBC. Guarded by Simbila at the top of the key. Brown dribbling, slicing, dicing, feeds inside. That's going to be Max Lorca Lloyd, guarded by Simbila. Trying to find any space. Puts up a shot, no good. Airballs it. Rebound grab by Joshua Rivera. He'll feed to Kyle Rose moving up the court. Rose, right side Richardson. Right corner now finds Rivera. Rivera guarded by Banks Jr. Rivera feeds to Medor. Medor slicing towards the paint. Feeds to Simbila. Big boy play, but a foul. And Simbila will go to the line for two.
And that's just a textbook drive and kick right there inside to Abdou Simbila, and it leads to two opportunities at the charity stripe.
Fordham leads 41-33 with 18:35 to go in this second half. Second half just underway as the big man from Cameroon will take his free throws. Fordham has had an interesting type of game, really a feeling out process. They've hit their threes as well as Simbila hits his first free throw.
They sure have hit their threes, and early it was at an unbelievable clip. Started off 5 for 7 from deep, now 9 of 17. You'll take that every day.
Abdou Simbila, 2 points on the day, looking for his third. Also 5 boards to his name. Dribbles. Up goes the free throw. He connects. Rams up 10. Banks gets the inbound. Stifled by the Fordham defense. He finds Dion Brown. He'll be streaking up the court. Brown shifting left. Feeds over. Gives to Johnson back on the left side. Johnson pump fake. Moves in towards the paint. Lays it in for 2 points. A shifty play from Bryce Johnson.
And Bryce Johnson, one of the definite bright spots of the first half. 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Big part of UMBC's offense early.
Bryce Johnson, he can score. Hit 57 threes last year as a member of Chicago State. As Rose will inbound to Jaffe Medor, who's been the man of the hour for the Rams. 9 points, 5 rebounds thus far. Medor will work over a screen from Simbila. There'll be a foul call on the floor, though. I believe it will be on UMBC.
Yeah, definitely a foul there. Going to be on Dion Brown. He was very late on his rotation. Just slapped him from behind, cutting to the basket.
As Kyle Rose will inbound the basketball here on the near side of the court. Rose finds Medor. Medor sets up just past the Fordham logo. Fordham going from left to right. Medor dribbling in. Looks back outside for Richardson, far arc. That'll be Simbila now on the left block, but it's taken away, and UMBC's got the ball. They're streaking up. Banks Jr. in transition, blocked by Rivera. Blocked by Rivera, but nonetheless, Devin Sapp there to pick it up. UMBC with an easy 2 points after a key play from Rivera.
Yeah, Josh Rivera flew out of nowhere, but UMBC relentless on the board within 5.
Jaffe Medor running the offense for Fordham. Rivera gets the feed on the far side, puts up a little mid-range look, can't get it to go off the glass, and the Retrievers have the ball. Banks moving down in transition, left side, hooks over, left arc three, it's good. Banks Jr. with a big three. UMBC now down by only 3 points, 43-40. Fordham lead with 17-16 and ticking in the second half.
And the Fordham Rams look a little flustered here, a one-possession game now.
Jaffe Medor engineering this offense. He'll find Rose towards the right side. Rose moving towards that three-point line. Back out to Medor. He'll move towards the center of the court. Medor looking for something, but he'll be fouled by Dion Brown. I believe it'll be called on the floor, not in the act of shooting. Antrell Charlton, Elijah Gray will check in for the Rams, it seems. And meanwhile, it'll be Ace Valentine in for UMBC. Dion Brown will take a seat.
Exactly the start to the half you want if you're UMBC. Just charge right back into this one. And Fordham, not the same energy they came out with early in the first half.
Fordham looking to run a play out of the inbound here, it appears, as Rose looking for something. He'll just dump it off to Medor. Ace Valentine guarding Medor at the top of the key. Medor dishes to Elijah Gray on the right arc. Gray moves upward, gives it to Rose behind him. Rose looking in, can't find anything. Kicks it back out to Rivera. Rivera moving left. Charlton, far arc, dribbles, puts up a mid-range. No good. But grabbed by Rivera. He's going to put it back in for two. Fordham 45, UMBC 40. It's now UMBC at the other end. Max Lorca-Lloyd guarded by Rivera at the left arc. Gives to Ace Valentine. Valentine dribbles, shifts left to Bryce Johnson. He'll cut in and put in a layup and one. Bryce Johnson with a feisty finish at the hoop.
And Bryce Johnson has been a huge part of UMBC's comeback effort. Gets the and one there. And you can tell, he can shoot the lights out, but he's also a real energy guy. He's got that spark plug vibe about him.
Bryce Johnson, 10 points on the day. 3 boards as well. He'll try and complete the three-point play here, as Zach Riley will enter the game for the Fordham Rams. As Jameer Tripp in now as well. Johnson dribbles at the line. It's up, and it's good. 2-point game. Tripp inbounds to Richardson, guarded by Ace Valentine just behind half court. Richardson moving from left to right. Bounce pass to Elijah Gray. He'll be on the right elbow. Finds Riley behind him. Riley at the top of the key dribbling, guarded by Bryce Young. Dishes over to Charlton. Charlton finds Richardson far side. Bounce pass into Gray, left block. Gray moving inward, puts up a layup, but it's blocked. UMBC gets it back in transition. Here comes Bryce Johnson again, moving inward, off the glass, no good. Board grab by Richardson, and Fordham's offense will move up the court.
And don't look now, but a 10-2 run for UMBC.
Richardson, corner three, no good. Grabbed by Riley off the glass. Kicks it out to Charlton, who will find Tripp on the right arc. But he botches the dribble. Tripp turns it over, and UMBC gets possession. Now Valentine and Tripp dangle. But after a little bit of commotion, the Retrievers will set their offense. Kadarius Smith with a mid-range look, and he will drain it. And one. Foul on the play. 2 points for Kadarius Smith. 45-45. 15-16 on the clock.
Kadarius Smith, a pure stroke, drew some contact from a big body in Elijah Gray. And Colin, it's a 12-2 run for this UMBC squad. Bryce Johnson really running this offense with efficiency.
Kadarius Smith with a big look from the mid-range there. UMBC coming out guns a-blazing in this second half. And Miles, you got to think going forward in this one, Fordham just going to want to slow down these Retrievers. They've outscored them 14-6 in this second half.
Absolutely a key. You got to slow down these Retrievers. They've gotten in transition with absolute ease so far in this second half, something we didn't see much of throughout the first 20 minutes. So you know Keith Ergo's in that huddle saying, we got to bring the energy defensively. That's where it all starts. Get some stops, get in transition. And absolutely, change necessary early for the Fordham Rams, all knotted up at 45.
All tied up here in the Bronx. We're going to step out and take a quick break. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Along with Miles Grossman, I'm Colin Loughran, back here in the Bronx. Fordham and UMBC tied at 45 apiece with 15-16 remaining in the second half. Kadarius Smith set to take his free throw after a feisty and one shot from the mid-range. Looks, it's up, and off the glass, grabbed by Angel Montes, who checked into the game. Will Richardson will set up the Fordham offense. Richardson with a hip-high dribble. Far side of the court, shifting towards near side, kicks into Montes in the middle of the circle. He'll put up a little shot, and it rolls around. It's no good. Smith with the hard dribble. He'll give to Marlon short, but it'll go out of bounds near us here on the sideline.
And a frustrating one there if you're Angel Montes. About as deep around the rim as it could be without going in.
It'll be Fordham possession. Montes will inbound. And he'll just give a bounce pass to Will Richardson. Ace Valentine guarding him just past the Fordham logo. Richardson gets a screen from Simbila. Moves inward and lays it in for two. A nice move from Will Richardson to work around the Simbila screen.
Beautiful hesitation.
Valentine gives to Marlon Short. Short far side. Above the three-point line. Bounce pass to Smith. Back to Short. Short dribbling. Swings to Banks Jr. Banks Jr. left arc three, and it's good. UMBC now leads 48-47, 14-20 and ticking.
Unbelievable run right here to regain the lead for UMBC, their first in quite a while.
Will Richardson guarded by Ace Valentine. He's going to dribble towards the paint. Kicks off to Montes. Montes moving middle, puts it in for two. Montes with a nice shot, shifting towards the middle of the court. Banks Jr. dribbling, works in, feeds it inside to Smith. He turns around and puts in for a layup. The two teams trading blows. UMBC leads by one. Will Richardson looking for something. T-neck product works around Simbila. Moving left, puts up a three, but airballs it.
Airballs it and bounces out of play, and not what you're used to seeing out of Will Richardson, one of the best three-point shooters in all of the A-10 last year.
The freshman last year put up a great deal of points for Fordham from time to time, offered those spurts of offensive production you hope for. Fordham will need that again from him this year. He's got 10 points today. Was looking to add to his resume. As Marcus Banks will inbound it to Ace Valentine. And Rivera will try and, or Montes will pick up Valentine at the half court, excuse me. Valentine, hip-high dribble, yo-yo dribble now. Looking for some space to work with, gives to Smith, right arc. Back over to Banks Jr. Kicks inside to Kadarius Smith, slices, dices, draws contact. Rivera can't believe the foul was called. Smith will go to the line for two shots.
And this is just a different Retriever team than what we saw in the first half. Just so aggressive. I can't imagine what that halftime speech looked like from head coach Jim Ferry. He must have fired these guys up because they come out aggressive, driving to the basket and drawing contact.
Kadarius Smith will take two shots. The grad student sits at 6'8", 220 pounds. Can't make the first one. So far, Smith with 11 points, 5 boards today. As he'll look to take his second free throw. And he will not make that one. Simbila swipes down the rebound. Gives off to Jaffe Medor. Try and set up the Fordham offense. Guarded by Banks Jr. Medor bounce pass into Rivera. Rivera working just below the free throw line. Turns around. Can't make a layup. Everyone hits the deck. And UMBC will get the basketball. Banks Jr. working in transition. Gives to Valentine. He puts in an easy layup. UMBC leads 52-49 with just over 12 minutes to play.
UMBC just cannot miss in this second half.
Medor gives to Simbila. Simbila working far side of the court. There's going to be a foul on the play of some kind.
Looked like the bump on Johnson there. Or Kadarius Smith actually in on the contact.
As Max Lorca Lloyd checks in for Kadarius Smith, as it will be Fordham basketball, as Angel Montes will inbound. Marlon Short in his grill. And he finds Rivera, does Montes. Rivera now working right block. Misses the first shot, gets the rebound, can't put up the second one. As it was blocked from behind, it will remain Fordham possession though.
Yeah, Fordham really unable to buy a bucket in the recent minutes. Scoreless last minute 33, and before that, Richardson's three, it was another drought.
Jaffe Medor, top of the key, swings it to Richardson. He'll move towards the middle of the paint, misses a layup, and it'll be UMBC basketball after Simbila didn't corral the board and let it go out of bounds. Now the Retrievers with a chance to add to their lead.
And Will Richardson suspended in air there for a moment. A little bit of hang time, couldn't finish.
Ace Valentine leads the charge. Left side of the perimeter, gives to Lorca Lloyd at the top of the key. Lorca Lloyd dribbling, finds Dion Brown in the paint for an easy look. 54-49 Retrievers.
Brown cocked it back like he was going to jam it home, drew some contact, and still adjusted in the air for the lay.
Will Richardson guarded by Valentine. Screen set by Simbila, moving right side. Back out to Angel Montes. He'll take a left arc three. Can't hit it. Clanks off the front iron, but a board grab by Rivera. As I appears like it's going to stay with Fordham for the moment. It will be Fordham basketball according to the possession arrow.
And Colin, it's a 9-2 run for UMBC. They've just been dominant. And the Fordham Rams not getting in transition, not getting those steals they got in the first half, and not getting easy looks either.
UMBC leads 54-49 with 11:41 to go in the second half. You're listening to Fordham basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Danny Scott.
I'm Tyler Hu, and we're two of your hosts for WFUV's College Gridiron.
We'll discuss all the best games from around the world of college football.
We'll also talk about the rankings and give our thoughts on the Heisman race.
We'll preview the best games of next week and give our score predictions.
Keenan Troy and other co-hosts will join us as well.
Tune in to College Gridiron wherever you get your podcast.
Colin Loughran here with Miles Grossman. Fordham inbounds. Elijah Gray with a quick look and one. Elijah Gray with a quick dribble puts it up for 2 points and will get one more at the charity stripe. Fordham now trails 54-51 with 11:37 on the clock.
And that's the first Fordham bucket in about 2.5 minutes, Colin. It comes in a big spot. Elijah Gray hit 2 threes already, but nice to know he's got that interior game as well. Right out of the inbounds play, gets it done with aggression.
Elijah Gray at the line. Deep breath. Dribbles once. Can't hit the free throw. But Fordham with a rebound. Jaffe Mador bounces it off of Devin Sapp. But it will be UMBC basketball.
When the refs deliberate, they will say last touch Fordham Rams. Jaffe Mador, a really athletic play, attempted to keep it in, but they'll say his left foot was out of bounds when he made that play.
Gutsy try from Mador, though. You got to commend him for the effort. As UMBC will get possession of the basketball. They lead by 3. As Sapp will inbound. Angel Montes in his face, and he'll inbound to Valentine.
Not much full court pressure in the second half. Definitely a difference maker.
Valentine gives to Lorca. Lorca Lloyd moving inward. Bounce pass, but it's intercepted by the Rams. Here comes Angel Montes in the Fordham offense. Tries to get it to Jaffe Mador, but UMBC hooks it away. Devin Sapp dribbling up now. And another change of possession. The Rams will get a turnover.
Chaos here, Colin.
Jaffe Mador will slow it down. Senior works over the screen from Simbila. Left arc. Thought about a 3, thought better. Gives it to Gray, far side. Gray moving towards the middle. Gray dribbles. Fades away. Puts it in for 2. UMBC will try and set up their offense. Banks Jr. now. Right towards the paint. He'll be fouled in the act. As it appears he'll go to the line for two. Fordham trailing by one. UMBC leads 54-53 with 10:42.
And this UMBC group has been able to get to the free throw line at will. Colin, they were in the bonus for the vast majority of the first half and certainly on their way to that once again in the second half.
Marcus Banks Jr. will be at the line. 15 points for that young man today. First shot up and good.
And UMBC as a team, 8 for their last 9 field goals. Kadarius Smith, 3 out of his last 4. A big part of them heating up has been Smith.
Ashton Reese checks into the game for the Retrievers, as does Bryce Johnson. It's a little bit of jockeying matchup-wise here from the two coaches. Banks Jr.'s second shot up and good. 56-53 now, UMBC leads. Jaffe Medor running the Fordham offense as he's done all day. Screen set by Sindila. Medor shifting leftward. Moves back towards the center. Tries a three off the front iron. And some commotion on the rebound try. As it appears it will be Fordham no, it'll be UMBC basketball.
Yeah, Reese came down with it, immediately got hacked from behind there. And it'll be that sideline out of bounds for the Retrievers in yellow.
Ashton Reese inbounds on the far side, gives to Dion Brown, Brown dribbling in, had a wide open lane. Offensive foul called. It'll go the other way.
Yeah, Max Lorca Lloyd, the definition of a moving pick. Way too good to be true there. Created a lot of space, but nevertheless the turnover going the other way.
Bit of that sloppy play happening again now, Miles, as the Fordham offense will get to work. Medor works right, tries the layup and puts it in. Fordham now trails by one. UMBC, big pass the other way. Bryce Johnson gives to Brown, down in the corner for Ashton Reese. Left three, no good. Here comes Medor for the Rams. Puts it in for two. 57-56, Fordham leads with 9:57 left on the game clock.
And Fordham finally heating up again. Jaffe Medor, the little head fake right, got the defender by him, and just a pretty finish, gallops into the lane. And man, you can really tell what kind of athlete he is. When he walks, he almost gallops, a little bit of that leap into the basket.
Certainly a momentum play for the Rams. And Miles, I thought Ashton Reese had about as good a look you could ask for at the other end.
Ashton Reese off the bench, no doubt.
Without a doubt, I thought that shot was going in. But right now, where they are, 9:57 left in this one. Fordham has seemingly evened it up momentum-wise, but UMBC has played the better half thus far.
No doubt about it. Fordham the dominant squad for the first 20 minutes, and then UMBC came out of the locker room with a little bit more juice. I mean, they were able to get to the foul line just at will in the first half, and I think they realized that, reflected on that a little bit in their halftime meeting, and said, we're going to attack once again. And they did that, getting a little hot shooting as well. And for a minute there, it looked like Fordham couldn't buy a bucket on the other side of that. So UMBC closes the gap, and Fordham finally back on top after a really cold stretch to begin the second half.
Retrievers have gotten scoring from multiple sources, but Marcus Banks Jr. rules the roost. 17 points for him, 3 of 4 from behind the arc, 4 of 8 from the field in general. It seems as if Fordham's going to pull this one out, they're going to have to stop that man, Miles.
Yeah, Banks was relatively quiet throughout the first half, but he kind of flew under the radar to some extent as well. He's a really versatile guard. I mean, at 6'3", you wouldn't know it by the way he moves. He definitely seems taller than 6'3", but he can also shoot, draw some contact, a nice versatile talent for head coach Jim Ferry.
Both teams coming out of the timeout now. We've had some moments of intensity early, albeit a dress rehearsal charity game, but don't make the mistake, these guys want to compete.
They sure do, and you know what? They're really tired of just scrimmaging against one another.
UMBC will get the ball out of the timeout, as it will be Johnson with the inbound. He'll find Dion Brown. Brown guarded by Rose. Working towards the center. Shifts over the half-court line. Screen set by Lorca Lloyd. Dion Brown pulls up from mid-range, can't get it to go. But Ashton Reese gets in there with a feisty move. Everyone hits the deck. As we'll have to see where the possession arrow will point.
Looks like he's staying here, Colin. Oh, with the Fordham Rams, my apologies.
Fordham will get back possession as Ashton Reese made it interesting there, just went for the ball. Not exactly the biggest guy out there frame-wise for UMBC, but a gutsy try nonetheless.
Yeah, he's 6'5", pretty lengthy, but you know what he lacks? Size, 185 pounds.
Jaffe Medor moving right on the right arc. Bounce pass to Elijah Gray. Gray around the free throw line. Loses his dribble. Ashton Reese picks it off. Gives to Banks Jr., who will be fouled. As Banks Jr. trying to find some room to work with in the transition, but Fordham hacks him.
And once again, in that bonus. And I think, you know, UMBC started off, or excuse me, not in the bonus yet, but very close to it. And Fordham started off, you know, being content fouling because UMBC was so inefficient from the free throw line, but they turned that around.
Joshua Rivera now in for Elijah Gray. UMBC will inbound. It will be Banks looking for someone. And he'll find Dion Brown. Brown far side of the court, guarded by Jaffe Medor. Works him off on the dribble. Right elbow, jumper gets it to go. UMBC leads 58-57, 9:14 and ticking.
And a hand right in his face, but a cold finish out of Brown.
Medor, hip high dribble, right arc. Gives to Rivera. Rivera finds Richardson streaking towards the hoop. He'll give it in to Medor. Medor feeds to Simbila. Simbila under the basket. But a foul will be called on Simbila. Too many steps for the big man from Cameroon.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was the offensive foul or the travel. It does look like the latter there, just trying to drag his back pivot foot across the baseline. Too many steps.
Bryce Johnson gives to Dion Brown. Passes up to Lorca Lloyd, who gives to Johnson, but picked off by Medor from behind. Tipped it away. Fordham's offense moving left to right now. Medor gives to Rose at the top of the key. Rose shifting rightward for Rivera. Rivera works off the Simbila screen, finds Simbila in the paint. He'll put it up for 2 and 1. Abdou Simbila with a nice finish in the key. Fordham 59, UMBC 58, and the Rams with a chance for one more.
And Simbila's first bucket of the day, and it comes in a big spot, gives the Fordham Rams back a lead, and that's what Keith Ergo needs these Rams to get back to. Dominance on the interior. Abdou Simbila is one of the better bigs in this entire conference. He hasn't shown it so far through about 18 minutes on the court. He needs to pick it up late. That's a great start right there.
Coach Ergo has spoken about the need for Simbila to develop as an offensive talent. 5 points so far today with a chance to add another here with the M1. Deep breath for the big man at the line. Dribbles. Swish. 60-58, Rams lead.
And just like that, the Fordham Rams are back up, and that's got to feel great. Simbila will check off now. Looks like Yole Akuovo, the backup 5 in this game.
Ace Valentine sets up the retriever offense. Right side, kicks to Lorca Lloyd. Back to Valentine, back to Lorca Lloyd. Under the free throw line now. Back out to Ace Valentine. Far arc 3, no good. Board grab by Rose. Jaffe Medor looking to find something in transition. Dribbling towards the hoop. Tried to work it back out of bounds off of a retriever. And I believe it was successful. It will stay with Fordham. We've seen that a couple times today, Miles. Fordham maintains possession here. Richardson gets the inbound. He'll kick it to Rose, right elbow. Works it into Rivera, right block. Rivera dribbles. Went for a dunk, couldn't finish. Got the board, though. Back out to Richardson. Far corner, he'll slice and dice towards the paint. Misses. Okuovu gets the rebound. He'll put it in off the glass. 62-58.
Akawovo's first bucket, gotta feel good.
On the other end, Ace Valentine now will travel. UMBC tried to work it quickly the other end after the Okuovu make, but nonetheless, the Rams maintain their lead 62-58 with 7:40 to go in the game.
And now Fordham finally a bit of momentum. Colin, early in that second half, it looked like the Fordham Rams were down and out, just off offensively, not getting pressure defensively, which leads to the transition, but they've picked it up. And now looks like UMBC is the more out-of-sorts squad.
We'll step out for a moment, but we could have a fun finish brewing. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on 90.7 FM.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
What's going on, guys? Bridge Gotham here, your New York Giants beat reporter for WFUV Sports. Be on the lookout for weekly reports and game recaps on WFUV's YouTube channel. We'll be covering the action all season long. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at BGBridge for updates throughout the games. For all things Big Blue, stay tuned all season long.
Colin, Loughran, and Miles Grossman back here at the Rose Hill Gym. Fordham leading UMBC 62-58 with just over 7:30 to play. Jaffe Mador setting up the Fordham offense, works right towards the paint. And it'll be off of Mador. And UMBC will get possession.
One of the better defensive plays of the day. Colin, Marcus Banks slaps it off the thigh of Mador, bounces out of play. A great UMBC stop.
Ace Valentine now streaking up the court from right to left. Valentine in between. Right arc now above the three-point line. Gives to Banks towards the left side. Banks dribbling, guarded by Richardson. He'll try a left arc three, and it's good. Marcus Banks Jr. with a ginormous three for UMBC. They now trail by one with just over 7 minutes to play.
And Banks, a little of that tongue out action at the crowd. He's having fun.
Richardson, bounce pass to Rivera. Rivera on the left side, gives to Rose. Okuovu now at the top of the key. Back to Jaffe Mador. He'll find Okuovu, gives to Mador. Mador guarded by Kadarius Smith. Mador moving towards the free throw line into Okuovu, puts it up for a layup, no good. UMBC's Kadarius Smith grabs the board. And a key Fordham opportunity there, but Okuovu just couldn't finish the play.
Yeah, that's about as close as you can get to this basket. Yole Okuovu doesn't make a good first impression on that attempt as he checks right back off Abdou Simbila in this ball game.
Devin Sapp will inbound for the Retrievers. And he'll find Dion Brown. Brown guarded by Richardson as he crosses the Fordham logo. Brown right arc. Kicks to Johnson on the left side. Johnson moving inward towards the hoop. He'll be fouled, as that was Jaffe Mador with the contact.
And Johnson spinning around in the mid-range area. And once again, you know, this is a team that's been content to live at the free throw line with 6:27 remaining. They're going to spend the vast majority of the close of this half at the stripe.
The Rams leading by one, 62-61, just over 6 minutes to play in this one. As Fordham got off to a strong start in the first half, UMBC came out guns a-blazing in the second act. Bryce Johnson will be at the line given that UMBC's in the bonus. First shot from Johnson, up and good. Tie ball game.
And Johnson really putting together a nice second half. Make that 6 for 6 from the charity stripe. UMBC relying on him.
Marvin Short in for UMBC now. Second shot from Johnson is in. Retrievers now lead by 1. Richardson crosses the block F. Screen set by Simbila. Richardson looking right towards the hoop. Back out to Rivera. Kicks it into Simbila, who slams it home. Abdou Simbila with a big boy slam dunk. Fordham not done yet.
Just a defensive lapse there. Smith nowhere near the play.
Dion Brown, mid-range look, left arc, swishes it. Anything you can do, I can do better. The two teams trading points.
And UMBC back on top.
Will Richardson generals the offense. Shifting left, kicks down far corner to Antrell Charlton. Charlton working back up towards the center. Tries to get it to Simbila, intercepted by Kadarius Smith, who slams it home on the other end. Kadarius Smith with a big slam at the rim. UMBC now leads 67-64 with just over 5 minutes to play in the game.
And the highlight of the day, Colin, all the momentum in UMBC's hands.
Jaffe Mador with a Houdini-like finish of his own. Rams trail by 1. UMBC going the other way. Bryce Johnson gets the ball, but it's intercepted by the Rams. Here comes Fordham. Mador working his way towards the hoop. He'll be fouled. The two teams playing fast and loose late in this one, Miles.
They sure are, just back and forth, transition play after transition play, turning into a real barn burner, and that style of ball really is the favorite of Jaffe Mador. He's so quick, he can outrun anybody in this gym. He gets to his spot on the left side of the rim there and just draws 2 free throws after a pretty finish on the previous possession.
Jaffe Mador, 15 points today. Makes it 16 with that free throw. Fordham ties it up at 67, 5:05 precisely on the clock.
And Jaffe Mador just got his waiver approved by the NCAA 2 days ago on Friday. It was all up in the air, but man, he looks like the core of this team now.
Mador dribbles and hits the second free throw. UMBC will inbound. It'll be Johnson who gives to Dion Brown. 68-67 Rams. Dion Brown right arc. Looks inside for Kadarius Smith, guarded by Simbila on the right block. Smith dribbles inward, tries the slam, but contact there. A good move by Smith to try and get around Simbila.
And Smith is just quite the athlete. That's what he's proved in the last few possessions. He's a high flyer and he's been super aggressive. And now he'll be back at the free throw line. 6'8" with his leaping ability. Quite the combination.
Smith shot over 50% from the field last season. 13 points today. He'll be at the line for 2. First is up. No good. Got too much mustard on it that time. Ace Valentine now in for Dion Brown.
And Smith, an interesting theme developing, 1 for 7 from the free throw line today.
Second shot, no good. Simbila cleans it up. He'll feed to Jaffe Mador.
Big misses, still down now.
Mador working right. In the in-between, under the basket now. Far side, looks up with a mid-range and gets it to go. 70-67 Rams lead. Here comes Banks Jr. on the other end, gives to Ace Valentine on the right arc. Feeds inside, Kadarius Smith from the elbow hits it. Kadarius Smith with a good look that time, gets it to go home.
And the offense is so much more efficient in the recent few minutes.
Will Richardson leading the charge. Left side, back out to Rivera from the top of the key, can't get a 3 to go. Banks will end up with the rebound for the Retrievers. Working in transition on the left side. Gets the baseline on Charlton, can't finish the layup. Jaffe Mador gets the board. Mador guarded by Banks Jr. just above the 3-point line. Medor moving left. He's going to hit a mid-range shot. Fordham up 72-69, 3:45 to go.
Medor 8 for 12 from the field today. He's got 19.
Ace Valentine, top of the key for 3, no good. Rivera with the rebound.
Fordham all the momentum now with Will Richardson to walk it up. They're taking their time.
Will Richardson working on the far side. Screen set by Simbila. Richardson moving towards the key. Looking for something, anything. Richardson, far side towards the corner. Guarded by Johnson. Shakes, bakes, and he'll travel. Too much shake and bake there for Will Richardson.
Richardson tried to use that pivot foot, ended up dragging it before he tries the shot. But 72-69, Fordham really has the momentum for the first time in the second half.
Fordham 72, UMBC 69. We're going to step out for a moment. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
What's up, guys? I'm Julia Moss.
And I'm Will Talent.
And we're two of your hosts for one of WFUV's football podcasts, NFL Friday.
Tune in every Friday for all news and updates around the National Football League.
Also, we'll be making our picks of the week around the league on every episode. Check out NFL Friday wherever you get your podcasts to catch the action.
Brewing here from the Rose Hill Gymnasium, along with Miles Grossman, I'm Colin Loughran. The Fordham Rams leading the UMBC Retrievers 72-69 with 3:12 on the clock. Miles, anything could happen from here.
No doubt about that. A one-possession lead for the Fordham Rams, and this is a Fordham Rams team that looked like they were absolutely in control late in the first half. But UMBC comes out of the locker room firing, regains the lead temporarily, but Jaffe Medor and a couple other names. The efficiency has carried the Fordham Rams back to a 3-point lead. Medor 9 of 13 from the field for 21 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. He stood out as the star of the Fordham Rams tonight. It'll be interesting to see if that theme persists throughout the early portion of the season.
Jaffe Medor, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a chance for a double-double with 3:12 still on the clock. UMBC will come out of the break looking for answers. They've had some Superman-like plays on both ends of the court, but remains to be seen if it will be enough to beat the Rams. Dion Brown will set up the Retriever offense, moving from right to left. Brown shakes and bakes, mid-range look, can't get it to go. Board grabbed by Rivera. He'll give it off to Medor, who will set up the offense. Richardson now gets the feed from Medor. He'll be the one to general this offensive look.
Rams taking their time.
Medor just below the three-point line, shifting in towards the paint, blocked by Lorca Lloyd. Simbila will clean it up, but UMBC gets it back in transition, but not before Fordham steals it right back. That was Angel Rivera on the interception. Will Richardson now looking to find something offensively. Kicks to Jaffe Medor, right corner, into Simbila, right block. Simbila backing into Lorca Lloyd, puts up a layup, and it goes off the glass. Abdou Simbila makes it 74-69 Fordham with just over 2 minutes to go. Now Dion Brown looking for a shot, and he puts in a pretty mid-range look off of a spin move. Good athleticism from Dion Brown that time. Jaffe Medor looking for answers. Simbila sets a screen. The double team will come now. Simbila finds Rivera in the paint. Rivera tried a layup, but it's blocked away. Back out to Rose, far arc three, and gets it to go. Kyle Rose with a ginormous three of his own, 77-71 Rams.
Shot of the night, 6-point lead now for Fordham with just 90 seconds.
Bryce Johnson gives to Lorca Lloyd in the paint. There's gonna be a foul of some sort.
Looks like on Simbila, Lorca Lloyd was backing his way down, and they'll say the shove down low on Abdou Simbila.
But Fordham with a huge three from one of its emotional leaders, Kyle Rose. This is only points of the day.
And Kyle Rose, really, he made that all-defensive team in the Atlantic 10 preseason poll. But he was the number 3 scorer on last year's Fordham team. He can get it done on the offensive side. He's so good on defense. We often forget that this guy could shoot the rock.
He picked a great time to contribute some points to the board. Fordham with a 6-point lead, 1:28 to play, looking to close out this dress rehearsal contest against UMBC. As Lorca Lloyd will go to the free throw line. Foul was indeed on Simbila Miles. Lorca Lloyd dribbles, looks up, shot, won't go. Fordham gets the board. It was a one-on-one, a 1-for-1, excuse me. And Jaffe Medor will set up the offense. Guarded by Banks Jr. just past the Fordham logo. Medor works over the gray screen, right arc. Dribbles, works inward, stolen by Bryce Johnson. He'll get out in transition. And blocked at the other end by Kyle Rose after a layup try. Fordham moving on the other end. Medor into Elijah Gray, works in towards the paint, no good on the shot, blocked by Lorca Lloyd. UMBC now trying to get out quickly. Dion Brown finds right arc three from Johnson, it's good. 77-74, Rams up by 3 with 50.9 remaining.
And a huge transition 3 there for Johnson. And it looks like a physical last few minutes of play, but the Fordham Rams have been unable to get on the board. Now under a minute remaining. Of course, you do have the basketball. But if you're the Fordham Rams, this is the time where you need to avoid those unforced errors. Don't give up any silly fouls. Take your time with the possession. Of course, 50.9 seconds can feel like an eternity with a 1-possession lead, but you got to stay calm.
And Miles, here's the question that I'll always come back to in these type of situations. If you have an open 3, do you try it?
In this situation, 30 seconds on the shot clock, 50 seconds on the game. I want to milk this clock. I'm not looking for any shots early in the possession. It'll be interesting to see if Keith Ergo agrees. UMBC has not been a team to give up much wide open looks for these Fordham Rams. But if I'm Fordham, I'm looking to milk this clock. Make this just a 2-possession game. If you can get on the board here with 2, you make it a 2-possession lead with hopefully less than 2 possessions left. That's where you're really feeling good.
Fordham leading the battle of 3-point field goals. If you do get an open look, perhaps you try it, but to your point, definitely important to get as much time down on that clock as possible. You don't want to rush anything necessarily.
And it'll be interesting to see if UMBC ticks up the pressure here. We've seen consistent full-court pressure out of Keith Ergo's Fordham Rams, not so much out of Jim Ferry's Retrievers. But it does look like there'll be 3 in the backcourt. Banks, Johnson, and Brown. Expect some full-court pressure.
And you would assume that Medor would be your ball carrier here for Fordham to try and get this clock down to as little time as possible. It will be Kyle Rose on the inbound. A veteran player asked to take on some veteran responsibility here late in the game with his team leading.
The reliable trigger man, been the trigger man for a number of years now on these baseline inbounds plays.
It will be Dion Brown right up next to him trying to contest an inbound as Rose finds Rivera. Rivera feeds to Medor. Medor behind the half-court line working towards the O-zone. Rivera guarded by Banks Jr., or Medor guarded by Banks Jr., excuse me. Dribbling. Bounce pass into Elijah Gray. Gray gives behind to Richardson. Richardson feeds to Rivera in the paint. Rivera looks it up. No good. Board grabbed by the Retrievers. That's going to be Devin Sapp with the rebound.
Shot clock is off.
77-74 Fordham lead. Will be a foul call here. Medor called for the foul.
And once again, in the bonus, down 3 points. It'll be 2 shots for the Retrievers.
UMBC with the chance to make it a 1-point game here. As Banks Jr. heads to the free throw line, perhaps not the guy you wanted to foul in this instance. He's got 20 points to his name this afternoon. Shot is up. No good. A big miss from Marcus Banks Jr. keeps it a 3-point game as Rivera checks out. Simbila checks in for the Rams.
Seen some free throw woes for UMBC, but not out of Banks. 6 of 7 on the day. That was his first miss right there.
16.5 seconds on the clock. Fordham up 3. Shot clock a non-factor. Second look from Banks Jr. is good. 77-75.
Now this is that trap situation, Colin.
Rose will try an inbound. Feeds to Medor. Medor will be fouled. As good on Rose not to try to do anything too ambitious there. Just finds Medor, who you know can handle his dribble.
Exactly right. Take what the defense gives you. Jaffe Medor, a great job of creating some separation. And now it'll be the UTSA transfer, a 2-point margin as it stands, and the Fordham Rams will have a chance to add 2 more with 15.6 on the clock.
Jaffe Medor has had himself a day. First free throw up and good. Now 22 points for the USTA transfer in what has been a grand welcoming to the Bronx.
No question about it. Jaffe Medor, the star of this contest. The UTSA transferred 13 points per contest at the Division I level down in San Antonio last year. He's proven himself.
Second look, swish. 79-75 Rams. Deion Brown takes it up for UMBC. Moving left, guarded by Rose. He's going to try a 3. No good. It airballs. Grabbed by Simbila. Kicks it to Rose. They're just going to run the clock down now. That'll cement a 79-75 win for the Fordham Rams in this exhibition dress rehearsal. Miles, what a welcoming for Jaffe Medor this afternoon.
What a welcoming. I mean, Jaffe Medor, 9 of 14 from the field. That type of efficiency is always going to be welcome on Rose Hill. And you look at these 3-point shooting numbers. The Fordham Rams as a team now, 10 of 23 from beyond that 3-point arc. Good for 43.5% as a squad. That is a recipe for success. And I don't know if that's something that will keep up throughout the year, but Keith Ergo would be very happy if it did.
And the type of players that were able to hit 3-pointers, certainly impressive. Angel Montes, Elijah Gray, people of this sort were able to contribute from behind the 3-point line. If that trend continues, along with the defensive intensity that we saw last season and in this exhibition game, Fordham has to like where they are going forward.
No question about that, Colin. I mean, last year, you saw DQ and Khalid Moore lead this offense. Well, the big question mark coming into year 2 of the Keith Ergo era is how are they going to adjust and fill those shoes? I mean, it looks like a slew of young players eager with the talent to do it.
Fordham opens their season officially on November 6th against the Wagner Seahawks. We're just about there. And now we're looking at this final box score for the Fordham Rams. Shot just over 43% from 3-point land, 9 of 12 from the charity stripe. Fordham wins this one by a final score of 79-75. Miles, certainly a good day for these Rams.
No question about it. And now we're joined by one of the many special staff members of the Fordham men's basketball team. Coach, I mean, 79-75, a narrow victory. I think that first half was purely dominant. But the main thing that stood out to us, Jaffe Medor, just got his waiver approved very recently. That info came out on Friday. You got to like what you saw from him.
Absolutely. I mean, it was very, very good news. Our office was exceptionally happy. He's such a fantastic kid. I think clearly a great talent, great player. But he's come in, he's a 5th-year senior, and he's come in and completely bought into our culture. He's like the consummate teammate, couldn't say more positive things about him. I mean, obviously, the play he displayed tonight is pretty fantastic.
In terms of some of the younger contributors, Jameer Tripp, Will Richardson, both still early in their collegiate careers, what about them this afternoon or even just in practices has impressed you so far?
Just how hard they work. Yeah, Tripp is an absolute sponge for a freshman. He's an exceptionally intelligent player. He's going to have a super bright future with us. The way he picks things up, the way he competes, and, he's open to learning. I think that's a key indicator of success when you're a young guy like that. And he's been fantastic. Great teammate. Will Richardson, can't say enough about his work ethic, right? I mean, he comes in every single day. He's the type of kid that, you almost have to say, take a break once in a while, He's that hard of a worker. It's a pleasure working with all these guys, but those two in particularly, have been great for us, great for our culture.
And once again, we're joined by Fordham assistant coach Henry Lowe coming off that 79-75 victory. And I think one of the main themes that stood out to me personally, 10 of 23 from the three-point arc. Obviously, you have a lot of shooters led by Will Richardson. Is it safe to say that this is going to be a Fordham team that finds their identity behind the arc?
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, our guys have all put the work in. They're total gym rats. That's a key part of our culture. The work, there's no secret, right? The work comes into play, and, we saw it tonight, and hopefully, we can make more than 10 next game.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate you guys.
Really appreciate it. Once again, Henry Lowe, the Villanova product on this Keith Urgo staff.
Fordham wins this one 79-75. Miles, they begin their season officially on November 6th. Final thoughts from this one?
Well, Jaffe Medor seems to be a budding superstar on Rose Hill. I think beyond Jaffe Medor, it's just the cast of young names. The fact that they can get so many guys involved, the depth is going to be a key factor for the Fordham Rams. And Colin, I'm awfully excited about this year, particularly if Medor keeps this up and they can shoot the rock the way they did tonight.
Rams win 79-75. For Miles Grossman, I'm Colin Loughran saying so long from the Bronx.